Hello, my class. Welcome to another episode of Storytime with Mrs. Edwards and the Witches. So, I hope you had a lovely weekend and enjoyed what sun there was. So, hopefully there's going to be more sun to come, which would be nice. So, let's get started. So now, barked the Grand High Witch. So now I am having a plan. I am having a giganticus plan for getting rid of every single child in the whole of England. The witches gasped. They gaped. They turned and gave each other ghoulish grins of excitement. Yes, thundered the Grand High Witch. We shall swish them and swallow them, and we shall make them to disappear every single light smelly little brat in England in one stroke.
This is Mr. James, Mum.
Whoopee! Cried the witches, clapping their hands. You are brilliant, your Grand Highness. You are fantabulous. Shut up and listen, snapped the Grand High Witch. Listen very carefully, and let us not be having any muck-ups. The audience leaned forward, eager to learn how this magic was going to be performed. Each and every one of you, thundered the Grand High Witch, is going to go back to your hometowns immediately and resign from your jobs. Resign! Give notice! Retire! We will, they cried. We will resign from our jobs. And after you have resigned from your jobs, the Grand High Witch went on, each and every one of you will be going out and will be buying. She paused. What will we be buying? They cried. Tell us, oh brilliant one. What is it we should be buying? Sweet shops, shouted the Grand High Witch. Sweet shops, they cried. We are going to buy sweet shops. What a frumptious wheeze. Each of you will be buying for herself a sweet shop. You will be buying the very best and most respectable sweet shops in England. We will, they answered. Their dreadful voices were like a chorus of dentistrills all grinding away together. I am wanting no halfpenny, crummy little tobacco-selling newspaper sweet shops, shouted the Grand High Witch. I am wanting you to get on these very best shops filled up high with piles and piles of luscious sweets and tasty chalks. The best, they cried. We shall buy the best sweet shops in town. You will be having no trouble in getting what you want, shouted the Grand High Witch, because you will be offering 4 times as much as a shop is worth, and nobody is refusing an offer like that. Money is not a problem to us witches, as you very know well. I have brought with me 6 trunks stuffed full of English banknotes, all new and crisp. And all of them, she added with a fiendish leer, all of them homemade. The witches in the audience grinned, appreciating this joke. At that point, one foolish witch got so excited at the possibilities presented by owning a sweet shop that she leapt to her feet and shouted, The children will come flocking to my shop, and I will feed them poisoned sweets and poisoned chocks and wipe them all out like weasels. The room became suddenly silent. I saw the tiny body of the Grand High Witch stiffen and then go rigid with rage. Who spoke? She shrieked. It was you! You over there! The culprit sat down fast and covered her face with her clawed hands. You blithering bumpkin! Screeched the Grand High Witch. You brainless bog vamper! Are you not realizing that if you are going round poisoning little children, you will be caught in 5 minutes flat? Never in my life am I hearing such a bosh-volloping suggestion coming from a witch. The entire audience cowered and shook. I'm quite sure they all thought, as I did, that the terrible white-hot sparks were about to start flying again. Curiously enough, they didn't. If such a tomfiddling idea is all you can be coming up with, thundered the Grand High Witch, then it is no wonder England is still swarming with rotten little children. There was another silence. The Grand High Witch glared at the witches in the audience. Do you know, she shouted, do you not know, she shouted at them, that we witches are working only with magic. We know, your grandness, they all answered. Of course we know. The Grand High Witch grated her bony gloved hands against each other and cried out, So each of you is owning a magnificent sweet shop? The next move is that each of you will be announcing in the window of your shop that on a certain day you will be having a great gala opening with free sweets and chocolates to every child. That will bring them in, the greedy little brutes, cried the audience. They'll be fighting to get through the doors. Next, continued the Grand High Witch, you will prepare yourselves for this great gala opening by filling every choc and every sweet in your shop with my very latest, greatest magic formula. This is known as Formula 86 Delayed Action Mouse Maker. Delayed Action Mouse Maker? They chanted. She's done it again. Her grandness has concocted yet another of her wondrous magic child killers. How do we make it, oh brilliant one? Exercise patience, answered the Great High Witch. First, I am explaining to you how my Formula 86 Delayed Action Mouse Maker is working. Listen carefully. We are listening, cried the audience, who were now jumping up and down in their chairs with excitement. Delayed Action Mouse Maker is a grain of liquid, explained the Grand High Witch, and one droplet in each choc or sweet will be quite enough. So here is what happens. Child eats choc which has it in Delayed Action Mouse Maker liquid. Child goes home feeling fine. Child goes to bed, still feeling fine. Child wakes up in the morning, still okay. Child goes to school, still feeling fine. Formula, you understand, is delayed action. It is not working yet. We understand, oh brainy one, cried the audience. But when does it start working? It is starting to work at exactly 9 o'clock, when the child is arriving at school, shouted the Grand High Witch triumphantly. Child arrives at school, Delayed Action Mouse Maker immediately starts to work. Child starts to shrink. Child is starting to grow fur. Child is starting to grow tail. All is happening in precisely 26 seconds. After 26 seconds, child is not a child any longer. It is a mouse. A mouse? Cried the witches. What a frumpious thought. Classrooms will be swarming with mice, shouted the Grand High Witch. Chaos and pandemonium will be reigning in every school in England. Teachers will be hopping up and down. Women teachers will be standing on desks and holding up skirts and yelling, Help, help, help. They will, cried the audience. And what, shouted the Grand High Witch, is happening next in every school? Tell us, they cried. Tell us, oh brainy one. The Grand High Witch stretched her stringy neck forward and grinned at the audience, showing 2 rows of pointed teeth slightly blue. She raised her voice louder than ever and shouted, Mouse Traps is coming! Out! Mouse traps, cried the witches. And cheese? Shouted the Grand High Witch. Teachers is all rushing and running out and getting mouse traps and baiting them with cheese and putting them down all over school. Mice is nibbling cheese. Mouse traps is going off all over school. Mouse traps is going snappity-snap and mouse heads is rolling across the floor like marbles. All over England, in every school in England, noise of snapping mouse traps will be heard. At this point, the disgusting old Grand High Witch began to do a sort of witch's dance up and down the platform, stamping her feet and clapping her hands. The entire audience joined in the clapping and the foot stamping. They were making such a tremendous racket that I thought surely Mr. Stringer would hear it and come banging at the door. But he didn't. Then above all this noise, I heard the voice of the Grand High Witch screaming out some sort of an awful gloating song. I'll save that one for tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening to another episode of Mrs. Edwards' Storytime with Mrs. Edwards and the Witches. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.